What's good, guys? It's TSG. In today's video, we're going to be talking to the winners of the Last Illuvial, the infoluvial gang. So how are you guys?
Great.
Good.
Yo, it's going to be fun trying to get each person to talk. But yeah, so we've got, do you guys want to just give a quick introduction of who you guys are and what you do in the infoluvial team? We'll start with Jux. We'll just go one by one.
Yep, I'm Jox. I'm one of the co-founders in Infoluvial, and I do the graphic design.
Awesome. Lems?
Hey, I'm Lems. I'm one of the co-founders in Infoluvial. I kind of help with condensing the information and making it short and sweet and the infographics and just helping out where needed.
Awesome. Gafoodle?
Yo, I'm Garth.
Garth, okay.
Yeah.
Like Gafoodle didn't get me the whole time.
Yeah, well, I write all the text, like walls of it, and then sluice it to Lems to fix it up.
Awesome. And Scrubs?
Hi, I'm Scrub Up Dad, so you can call me Scrubs. And basically, I try to tie everything from planning as well as developing, and basically anything that needs to get done, I'll try to be that person for them.
Awesome. Cool. So
he's also the Twitter master.
Yeah, easy. So I think the first biggest thing is congratulations, guys. Like the fact that you guys won the Last Illuvial, that's massive. Like what were you guys doing when you guys found out? Like how did you guys feel? Did you guys kind of know beforehand? Did they kind of contact you, or did you guys find out at the same time as us?
So basically, what happened was that Ben just messaged us in our private group, and it was like, "Yo, guys, so we want to talk about the Last Illuvial, and we want to see if you guys accept our concept." And basically, right in the middle of that call, it was like, "Okay, so yeah, you guys won, so yeah, let's continue." So that was fucking ridiculous.
That was.
He started with like, we have you as one of the top candidates, and we need to do a call and see if you're up for some changes.
Mm-hmm.
And then he like rounded up the call because we were accepting his changes, and then he rounded up the call and said, "Yeah, you won, by the way."
Yeah. Did you guys expect it when he already started that call? Did you guys expect you kind of knew where it was going, or did you just think it was just a random call?
Not at all. Definitely not at all. So Ben, as Jacques mentioned, Ben said that we were shortlisted, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of like an exploratory talk just to discuss, the changes that they wanted. And we didn't expect anything at all because we were sort of thinking it's another round of, the team going through the changes and what we thought the concept would be. And as Garth and Jacques mentioned, he just dropped the mic on us, and we were like, "What? Wait, hold on!" And we had to like confirm. Did we just win?
That's nuts.
Yeah, we were pretty euphoric. Like it was a pretty mind blowing experience. Just kind of he reaches out, asks us if we want to talk, and then all of a sudden we won.
Yeah, damn. Did you guys like comparing it? Because I'm sure you guys saw some of the other entries as well. Did you guys have how confident were you guys to win? Like, did you guys know it was a sure thing? Like, did you guys think that you were up there already, or did you see some others that
definitely
you
not
thought were?
I would just say definitely not a sure thing. I feel like we thought we had a good design, and we thought we had a solid chance. But I feel like there was a lot of good designs in the mix as well. So there was some good competition there for sure.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna lie. I told you guys as well, like before. I actually missed your entry. I didn't even see it. So like once you sent me the stuff, and I was super busy, so I apologize.
Yeah.
But after seeing it, it kind of makes sense that you guys did win. But yeah, anyway, so let's get straight stuck into it. So essentially, I'm just going to ask you guys about the Last Illuvial, how you guys came up with the idea, and just have you guys break down the concept and the design and just kind of talk about it. I'm sure you guys are cool with that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on here. So, this is essentially the overview, correct? Who wants to be the first person? Like, who wants to be the one to walk me through it, walk us through it, and just kind of just break it all down? And no one's putting their hand up.
I don't mind. I'm happy to do it, but I don't know if anyone else wants to jump out.
Was there a singular mastermind behind this? How did this actually go? Like, how did you guys come up with the concept to begin with?
It was definitely a team session. I know that was a week. Scrubba was pretty busy. He kind of came in and was in and out, and he had joined in a little bit. But I think that Jocks, Garth, and I were getting on calls, brainstorming for a couple of days, really, hammering out different ideas and kind of trying to see what we liked and what would work.
I think we had like 2 main calls and then a third for like assembling everything.
Right. So it didn't take too much time for you guys to like come up with the main concept. Who came up with the idea of the red panda?
I don't remember specifically. I know we are all kind of like, it ended up only being a couple of calls, but they were some pretty long calls. We actually spent a lot of hours, going through different ideas, and we were looking at just like Nat Geo, endangered species lists and all kind of, what do we think of this? What do we think of this? And kind of went back and forth a few times, and then we all kind of thought the red panda really suited it because, Illuvium's theme of the first stage being really cute, and it is a really cute, little fox-like creature. So we thought it would be really suited to being an Illuvium.
Yeah, fair. All right, so these names have been changed a little bit, haven't they? Like, well, we'll talk about the changes a bit later, but these aren't the confirmed names.
Yeah, nothing's final. It was all just proposed,
right?
Names. That was all.
Awesome. So, I'll ask Jocks. Yeah, you seem to be on it today. So, can you explain what was the concept behind it? What was the thought process behind this Illuvial, the stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and you can handball it to any of your guys when you want to.
So first we kind of wanted something that represented infoluvial overall as well, and as everyone who entered the contest, you search for animals who go extinct, and you see the top list, and this was one of them basically. And we had already when we started, we had already see one guy propose a red panda. So we were like, oh, we can't do this one now. But then we got to search for other animals, and then it always came back to the red panda. So we continued with that, and I think we kind of very soon agreed on we want something that's supportive, helping the allies, not being a tank by any means, and not being a sniper or so. We wanted something to buff our allies.
Yeah.
And that got us into like shock, because shock is more like electric and it spreads. So we got into that path. And of course, a red panda is red. So we have to start with fire.
Okay. I was gonna ask, where did the fire come from?
Yeah. So and that turns very well over to shock eventually with a combination of fire and air. So
awesome.
That's where we started.
Yeah, awesome. Does anyone want to add anything else onto it? Like stage 2, stage 3. So you've got stage 1. It looks like it's a melee. Stage 2 looks like it's a ranged. What was the thought process behind that change from going from melee to ranged? Lems, Garth.
So
go for it.
Thanks. So I was researching the Last Illuvial, and indeed they recommended a lot of things, from buffing themselves or dealing a lot of damage, but they never talked about buffing the allies. So in that case, that's where the idea came from. And in the start, we wanted Relu, as in a part of the Latin name, as well as like lux or light or something like that. And it would walk on 4 paws, and later on in stage 2 and stage 3, it would start to walk on 2 paws and get stronger and more ranged, because it was supportive, so it was not meant to be like in the middle of the fight and boxing enemies. It just wanted to be in the back line and just helping his friends, and that's how it would go further in the back line the longer or the higher stages became.
Right. And whose idea was it to give it like the buffest of legs in stage 3?
That's actually a fun story behind it, because we did all this Googling, browsing for images and stuff. And I just the day before we were supposed to post this one, I realized we never did our own drawing of him. So I stayed late after work a Friday night at the office computer, so I didn't have my Photoshop or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I found an online tool that I had to learn. So you see here at stage 1 looks very derpy because that was the first one I did.
Yep.
And then I got a little more advanced on stage 2, and then stage 3 I got a hang of it. But I think it was like 8 p.m. at the evening when I rounded up the third stage. So I was kind of tired of it and just want to go home.
Yeah.
Because still staying late at work is not fun, you know.
Yeah. No one likes that.
Yeah. So, but it started stage 3. The legs. I started with the feet. I looked at images. How do red pandas stand? First of all, so they have like the feet like slightly outwards, and then I started from there. And then when I get up to the legs, I realized, okay, so he has been standing since stage 2, so he probably have some muscles now, you know. And and then just continued from there. And when I finished him, I realized this is like Mewtwo on crack.
Yeah. It reminds me of I don't know if you guys ever watched Dragon Ball Z, like the new one, the purple cat. I don't know what his name is, like the god. For anyone that knows,
I haven't. No.
Yeah, for anyone that knows, they know. But no, that's funny as hell.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the legs. Gangster. That was the first thing that I noticed when I saw it. I was like, yo, this guy didn't skip leg day.
Yeah.
Didn't skip leg day.
No. But the main thing was always the tail, because in normal red pandas the tail stands out because it's white stripes.
Yep.
And he used it for counter his balance and stuff like that. So we wanted to implement the tails as much as possible.
I like that it's got a like a Charmander, Charizard type of vibe, right? Where the flame for the tail. I think that was cool. Was that inspired at all by that Charizard Charmeleon line?
Yeah, it was like make an electric tail and kind of have that. But the idea was, I guess, kind of have it go through the tail a little bit more than just be at the tip, kind of like the Charmander.
Yeah. Fair.
So the stripes here on stage 3 is his tail is like charging up. You can see the deep purple at the beginning of the tail, and then it goes lighter and lighter, so he's charging up.
This is the stage 1, right? And the references Charmander's there. Awesome. So who wants to walk us through it, like the description, just everything? Who wants to walk us through this? You guys can take turns. Someone can do stage 2 and stage 3.
All right. So the first stage was for us Railu, based on Railgun Red, and the Latin name for the family tree, Illuridae. And it's a very friendly red panda with empath class and fire affinity based on its color and its friendly nature. Of course, it's melee because it can't yet stand on 2 paws, and it would fight with its claws and tail. Its Omega ability, because it's still not very, very used to fighting against enemies. It's just a roar to get the enemies away from it or to help its allies. So it will decrease the enemy DPS. Or we were still struggling with that. So maybe it would also buff the team or something. But that's basically it.
And the hyper is just accentuating his attacks.
Hyper is just a better graphics and a little bigger roar radius and bigger DPS down or something or buff.
Awesome. Actually, I just realized this now. I wanted to ask, because you guys said you were working on this together. Was there anything that you guys conflicted on, where one of you guys said, "No, you really needed this," and the other was like, "No, we can't have that," or was it pretty peaceful? Well, how were those discussions? Because I can imagine working with 4 people, everyone had their own ideas.
I can say that the biggest fight I think Garth and I had, because Garth wants a slim panda, like not the biggest and buffest, but I wanted something more buff and muscular.
I'm glad.
That's why I put the links in.
Yeah, and also,
and I think go ahead.
I was just gonna say that when it comes to all 4 of us looking into it, it was pretty clear, especially for me, right? I kind of came in a bit late in, wherein they sort of fixed it in terms of like the line as well as the abilities. But from off the bat, as soon as I got there, I was telling them that, let's do something that buffs, more of the like support character. For some reason, we were very aligned in how we were like thinking what the last alluvial would be, and how it not only show probably not give sorry, let me repeat that. Not only does it gives us an identity of what infoluvial is, but also how it can complement the rest of the alluvials in Illuvium, right? So that was one of the I think more important things that we considered.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
And I was just good.
Yeah, go, go,
I
go.
was just going to say that basically the same thing is kind of described. It's funny because it's going to say, I think it's part of the reason we work so well as a team is because we are pretty aligned on a lot of things, and we all initially had that same idea of support is what we want to do because we kind of wanted to represent the infoluvial and
Yeah.
what we do. And then, Strawberry, you pretty much took the words out of my mouth.
How did you guys even like? How did you guys even like create infoluvials? We're kind of going to go on a tangent here, but like, because you guys are from different countries. Like, were you guys like friends online beforehand? Like, how did this even happen?
Oh, I'll start this one, Lumps.
Yeah.
So, the whole thing came about from another failed community project, right? And that's actually how I met Garth. None of us knew each other. It was just by chance. And then I had this idea that instead of like creating this grandiose plan wherein we do like a website and whatnot, let's just start small, something simple, something that's concise. And that's why infographics came about. I talked to Garth because I was reading one of his articles before, and I knew that he had a lot of information and he can really help out in terms of the written content. But obviously, just having written content, and I didn't have any kind of design background or any creative background, totally non-related background, obviously. So I was looking for more people to join in and maybe be interested in joining the project. And that's where Jocks and Lumps came in. Just randomly messaged the community. I think it was just in general chat, maybe. And then they just said, hey, we're interested. And that's how it came to be. And thankfully, Lems was a really good editor and had this great ideas as well. And as we mentioned, that we really aligned on things. And Jocks was, like a gift in terms of like creative stuff. He was able to really help out, deliver and execute how we wanted it in a much better way.
Yeah, that's super dope. It's really helpful when you actually have like a good team like that and everyone plays their role well. And I'm actually really excited to like I said, we'll organize like a one-on-ones with each of you because I really want to know your backgrounds, how like you guys came to be. So I'm looking forward to that. So on the screen though, moving on, you guys can see stage 2, right? You guys can see that?
Yep.
Awesome. The first thing that I'm noticing is Darth Sidious and Gandalf. Explain.
Well, the initial idea was we wanted to add shock at stage 2.
Yeah.
We wanted to, that was kind of the next thing. And we figured, ranged is kind of like a bit of fun. It's kind of like you had that, you could shoot out electric. That was kind of the concept. But then also it was in the empath supportive. So that's kind of the Gandalf side of things. So it's like, you wanted to kind of come in, help your team. We kind of had the concept of almost like, electric can speed things up. So maybe not necessarily like an attack boost to allies, but a speed boost. It's basically like charge them up with some electric to like speed them up. Or, on the flip side, you could shock your enemies and slow them down sort of thing.
Yeah, interesting. So, yeah, Lems, I'm actually going to focus on you on this one. Do you want to like walk us through what you've got here? Like, you don't need to, if you want to go through the description, you can, but more about the abilities and the thought process behind all of that, which you kind of did already, but.
Yeah, so basically, we kind of figured he got older, kind of following that Illuvium theme of stage 2 is like the teenager. So, then he starts to walk on 2 legs. He kind of starts to get a little bit more confident in himself. And then we didn't want to have, huge changes again, his ability. So that's, he's already changing from fire to shock.
Yeah.
So the idea was then, he's also changing from melee was the idea, so he would actually shoot lightning as opposed to kind of scratch with fire claws.
Yeah.
And then his Omega, that's where the tail started to come in, and that was a key thing that I think all of us kind of liked the concept of, was, you know, tying into that Charmander-like theme, but have like a Tesla coil as the tail. So that's when that would start to get introduced due to the shock. So that would be, you know, his Omega, which would buff allies or debuff enemies.
Yeah.
And then the Hyper then would basically just be like, you know, boosting all those things up, kind of similar to stage 1. He would shoot more lightning from his paws as his basic attack, and then his Omega would basically increase that range of the buff or debuff.
Right.
So you wanted to really have him be, you know, a boost for the team. So, you know, that's the whole idea. Is kind of like infoluvial, we're here to kind of up your game. So it's like when you add him onto your board, he kind of makes all the rest of your alluvials do a little better.
Yeah. So also, like, correct me if I'm wrong. So it's an AOE. His Omega is an AOE buff or debuff. And considering that it is an AOE, he should be theoretically still be kind of close to the battle, but just behind the front line. He's not like a sniper that's well back, because otherwise it's not going to do anything. He kind of needs to be around the other members. Am I getting that right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why he kind of just goes short ranged. He wouldn't have long ranged attacks.
Right,
just
that makes so much sense. Yeah, man, you guys have clearly thought this through.
There are some tweaks.
We had the idea of
Yeah.
Sorry,
we had the idea of having stage 2. So when the enemies gets closer, he shoves them back with the tail or something.
Right.
So to keep them at distance.
Right. Is that idea, has that been scrapped, or is that something you guys are working with?
I think it says in the text, actually, if someone takes the time to read the text, it actually says on stage 2, I think.
Stage 2.
Yeah.
Let me
I think it still says it there in the.
Basic ability.
Basic ability, shoots lightning.
Whips enemies back with his tail.
Pushing them back. Yeah, cool. So yeah, he kind of keeps that distance. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So there have been some changes. We chatted with Ben, and, you know, because we have to fit in, you know, to the normal balance in the game too. We can't just have some, you know, a character if there's too many of a certain type. So there will be some tweaks to the design, but this is the original design that we had.
Awesome. Yeah. What I want to do is I want to focus on the original design first, and then just at the end of this, I've got the change, like some of the changes that you guys have kind of shared with me, and we can kind of talk through that. And again, the thought process behind Ben's ideas as well, because I just want to see what they think about when designing these alluvials. So in front of us, you guys can see the stage 3, right? Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. So Garth has said their thing. Lems, Jocks, you've said it. Scrubs, do you want to walk us through this one?
Oh, I think Jocks are.
Jocks? All right, cool. Jocks.
Yeah,
or Garth.
Yo, Garth. Everyone's just potatoing it right now.
I was thinking, you know, Jocks, that's your baby. Look at those legs, man. I mean,
yeah, it's your baby.
Those are your legs.
Yeah,
was that inspired by you? Because you look like you go gym, right? That was definitely inspired by you.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's more
no, he doesn't.
7 days a week at the gym than
push-ups.
No leg day.
No leg day now. Leave that for the red fox, right? The red panda.
Yeah, Garth, take it, man.
Right. So the last stage is where he actually becomes full grown. He's an adult now, and he knows when or how to use his powers for his allies and how to help them. So yeah, he got fucking muscular legs, and maybe I should say freaking muscular legs.
You can cuss.
That might be better. And yeah, he shoots from a distance with like incredible lightning balls, and he can still use his tail as a Tesla coil, which so that's his morphology. Just stands. He shoots from a distance. That's his basic ability, and then the Omega ability is where he uses his Tesla coil to buff the allies in a range, and he could also just debuff the enemies, but also again, like, what is the priority on that? We're still wondering about that. And the hyper basic ability is where his tail really starts glowing, and his attack damage and buffs just go through the roof for his teammates.
Also, so with the Omega ability for the stage 3, it's essentially, again, correct me if I'm wrong, it's essentially the same thing as stage 2, but just with a wider AoE. Is that correct? Or larger AoE?
So what we wanted to do was keep the AoE in the game, in the concept. So first melee, it would just buff the melee characters. Then when he's staged up, he buffs again the melee, but also a part of the ranged. And when he's further ranged, he just buffs only the ranged characters, and that would just be the attack damage and maybe the attack speed. That would be nice for that. Yeah. Like that.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yo, honestly, I'm actually really glad that you guys went with the support Illuvial, because a lot of the stuff that we have seen, like the only support Illuvial we've seen right now is Adorius, right? The healer. Everything else is pretty much like attack. So seeing you guys,
we also have Archelion.
Yeah, and Archelion. Yeah.
Turtle.
You're right. Yeah, I'm overlooking a lot. Then I apologize. All right, so I've just loaded up the last and final thing. It's the updated graphic. Yeah, I would say that the upgraded graphic with Ben's suggestions. So clearly, some of the things have changed. It's no longer an empath, so it's changed to a fighter, which is interesting because I just kind of mentioned that I like the idea of the support. So, what happened? Like, what was that conversation like? Everyone's kind of spoken. Again, I'm gonna try give the ball to Scrubs, unless Scrubs, you want to pass it off again?
No. This one, thankfully, I was in the call as well, so
Cool,
I can
cool.
answer that. I can answer a little bit of the start.
Yeah.
What do you want to focus on so that I can? I don't want to take the whole concept. Obviously, I want to give it also to the others.
Awesome. The first thing I want to ask is, what was the conversation like that to change empath to fighter? Because obviously the support thing was a big thing for all of you guys. So, and what was their reasoning behind that? Just kind of talk us through that.
So, the thought process from Ben was that obviously we couldn't push everything that we wanted.
Yeah.
It had to make sense in terms of the balance as well as the overall lineup of Illuvials in the generation, the Gen 0.
Yeah.
In Illuvium, right? So it was kind of pinpointed that there was a little bit of lack in terms of a particular class as well as particular affinity, right? And even at tier level. So if you notice, there was also a little bit of change there. In terms that it's now a tier 1, where it's considered as a tier 1, and they wanted to push the fighter class first.
Yeah.
And then, Templar came in, obviously, because of our concept that we are doing support, which is why Templar, fighter plus empath, what you get is a Templar.
Yeah. Also, yeah. Okay. Cool. And so I'm looking at the if I miss anything, just kind of stop me. So it looks like you've changed empath to fighter. In stage 2, the biggest change that I noticed is that that you guys have gone away with it being ranged. So it's going to be a melee throughout stage 2 and stage 3. The thought process behind that was, if you guys want to break that down, just because it's a fighter. Or...
Yeah, it just kind of made more. Yeah, that's exactly it. It makes more sense for fighters to be upfront melee. So we just figured we would continue melee all the way through to stage 3 because fighter is the core class.
Right, cool. And the other thing with stage 2 that I've noticed is that instead of going to shock straight away, you've changed the class rather than the infinity. What was the reasoning behind that?
So Ben said the general 3 stages, in general, they want them to be recognized to each other and don't be too different.
Right.
So from stage 1 and stage 2, we made him stand up on 2 legs.
Yeah.
We made him ranged, and we made him shock.
Yeah.
And that's so much different from stage 1, where he's on 4 paws and fire.
Yeah.
And melee. So it's like it's not that steep change anymore.
Yeah.
So to say.
Okay, cool. I'm actually curious. Did you guys give any pushback with any of the suggestions, or did all of it kind of make sense, and you guys were pretty agreeable with most of the changes that they suggested?
It was pretty like it all kind of made sense to us. I think we wanted to have the support back in at stage 2 as well, which kind of worked out by introducing Templar in stage 2. So it was like that was our big thing, which we kind of mentioned before, was like we wanted to be a supportive character, and we still kind of had that theme, and we really liked kind of the shock concept. So we still kind of maintained that, and how the tail is kind of like a key point.
Yeah.
Like they intend to have the tail be a key kind of part of his Omega as well still. So all those things are still the same, but it kind of makes more sense for balancing in the overall Gen 0 set, as Scrubba said.
Awesome. And then so the final thing with stage 3, that seems to be pretty similar to what you guys had. It's still shock, it's still support, but just instead of Mystic, it's a Templar. So that kind of. So I'm curious, because honestly, I'm actually really glad that you guys won this, because I really like your idea, and I think the way that it's kind of going is really cool as well. How do you guys feel about the change in direction of your character? It's not a complete change. Are you guys super supportive of it still? Obviously, what are your honest opinions? Would you have rather that it stay completely true to what you originally designed, or do you guys see these changes as beneficial just overall? And you guys can be honest. If you want to cuss Ben out, you can cuss Ben out. It's not a big deal. Lems?
Well, I'll go personally for me. I when we initially did the whole design process, I personally was always open to any kind of changes. I figured, knowing the game has got all these different classes, affinities, that they might need to kind of make some tweaks and changes.
Yeah.
So when we were conceptualizing it all, I was aware that there could be tweaks and changes. Mm-hmm. And even before as a team, we talked about it and was like, what are the key things that we really, love about the Illuvial if we have to kind of make some changes and tweaks, because we thought that might happen. And, we all kind of talked about supportive and having the tail be a key point. So it's the key things that we really liked about the design were still part of it. And it was, in my opinion, just kind of more minor changes to make sense to the world.
Yeah, fair. Scrubs, what did you think? Did you mind any of the changes? Were there some things that you kind of wish stayed true to what you guys originally planned out?
No, honestly, Lems hit the nail on the head on that. Really, there were really just two things that we wanted to really focus on in terms of identity of the Illuvial that represents infoluvial, obviously, and that is the support function. So that's been kept, and the focus on the tail, right? Because that's something that we wanted to be a visual identity of the Illuvial, wherein the Omega and the support that it's actually providing would be coming from that tail. And thankfully, Ben and the team thought the same. Awesome. So we're pretty happy with it.
Did you guys have to communicate that to them, or was that something that they just assumed and kind of you guys were on the same wavelength without even having to communicate?
No, they're the ones who actually gave that idea, and right off the bat, personally for me, I was like, they took our idea, they enhanced it, and made it more sense.
Yeah. So Jux, what are your thoughts with the changes? Was there anything that you kind of wish stayed the same? And have they kind of confirmed and locked in that the legs are going to be there? Those buff legs, are they guaranteed? Is that going to be changed, or?
I will push for the legs. Yeah.
Good on you, man.
Yeah. No, but everything Ben said, as Lems also said, it just made so much sense, right. And we were prepared for making changes, because who knows what Illuvium wants and what fits their system. We're just guessing here, and we're trying to make something reasonable for them, but the changes he proposed was just really good. And one thing that we haven't mentioned yet is one of the changes I really like is that he will be on 2 paws on stage 1 as well.
Ah, cool.
So I just think he will be so fucking cute,
Yeah, that's awesome. So
like the middle image when he stands up there.
Yeah, the cute one.
Just so cute. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So cute.
Awesome. There's also one huge change that wasn't really mentioned yet, and I think it's just a very alpha info in terms of the setup of the Omega, is that in our original concept it was an AOE.
Yep.
Now it's targeted, and
Okay.
it's very important to see that there's a condition in that targeting, that we can play around to be able to target certain illuvials on our team,
Yeah.
rather than it being a very random. So an example here probably would be, it will target like the fastest attack speed illuvial.
Right.
So you can sort of fix your team to be able to target a specific one that you want to be the carry
Yeah.
for that particular round.
Has that been determined already? Is that like the example you gave about the highest attack speed? Has that been confirmed already, or are you guys in discussions of who it's going to target?
Yeah, so that's still going to be discussed,
Yeah.
and Lems is our representative for those 3 hour sessions.
Oh,
So
awesome.
we'll probably know more after that particular discussion.
Awesome, awesome. Garth, is it even worth me asking you if there's anything you wanted to stay the same, or are you gonna kind of agree with everyone
Definitely, there's
else?
one thing that I hate that's happening right now, because they're making it a fighter. I
Yeah.
bet they're going to make it similar to Singe and Seer, like very buff, like the big. I mean, we have so many of them. I would just wanted one to be slim.
Yeah,
Is
yeah. Oh
that
my
too much
god.
to ask?
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Representation.
The representation,
Yeah.
We'll try,
right?
we'll try go for the slim buff guy.
Ooh.
How's that? Like the slim but bills.
Oh man. The
Yeah,
Cristiano Ronaldo, right? Cristiano Ronaldo of Red
yeah.
Pandas.
But I think we will go towards like a smart fighter
Mhm.
instead of a buff fighter.
Yeah.
So Bruce Lee.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, there
A
you go.
Bruce Lee. That's
Nice.
a good one. That's a good one. That's the perfect
Nice.
way to round it up, right? Be like, yo, we're creating a Bruce Lee. That's funny as hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, guys, thank you guys so much. Is there anything else that we kind of missed out on before I let you guys go? Is there anything you guys want to mention? Oh, actually, before you guys mention it, I want to mention it. Congratulations on the website as well. You guys have been doing amazing work with the infographics, the website. So it's cool to see that actually live. So a huge congratulations. But yeah, anything else you guys want to say? Shout out anything. Shout out your Twitters, whatever it is. Lems, we'll start with you. I'm gonna actually call you guys out now. Lems.
I'm just, thanks for having us on. Yeah, we're super excited. We just got the website launched live this week, so go check that out. It's going to, keep getting added to. If people want to submit community content, we got a Google form there. If they want to, add their own content to the site, which, we're going to review it up first, and before we would put it up on the site. But yeah, we'll host other people's content. We'll have guides. We got lots of new stuff in the works. There's directory of all the leaks that have been uploaded, all the way updated to I think the second week of April now. So anyone who wants to look at any of the leaks, they can go on there, and we're going to all our graphics. We're going to just keep pushing there.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm actually definitely going to be using that website for the leaks for future videos I do. So that's awesome. You've kind of compiled that. Scrubs, anything you want to kind of say to log off with?
Yeah, so I want to say thank you, TSG, for having us here. It's such a pleasure to be able to talk to you and have all the founders here being
Yeah.
represented. I guess one of the things that I do want to add probably to what Lem said on the website is that it's just a start.
Yeah.
We have so much plans and so much features that we're going to be introducing, and just keep following us on Twitter, find out more about what we're doing, and hopefully we can surprise you with tools and features that you can use during your whole journey in Illuvium.
Awesome. Yeah, Jux, anything you want to kind of shout out?
Yeah. Yeah, actually want to shout out our core contributors and translators as well.
Yes.
It's not only us four. We are, I don't know how many we are right now, but we are a few people, and they are doing a great job also. So
Yeah, man. I
Thanks
see you guys
for helping out.
translating everything, and
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's honestly, it's given me ideas for what I want to do as well. But you guys are killing it out there with the
Yeah.
translations.
Thank you.
Garth,
Yeah,
how do you want to sign
they've also
out?
added their they've added infoluvial to their name in the Illuvium Discord. So if you see them around, they're super awesome people. So definitely have a chat with them.
Awesome. All right, cool. So anyway, yeah, thank you guys for coming on. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to we'll organize some times for just one-on-ones and things like that to get to know each other, just like to get to know you guys a bit better and kind of dive in a bit deeper. I realize the 4 people Might have been a bit much, but I'm still glad we did it. But anyway,
That was awesome to get everyone on.
yeah, it's good fun. It was a good laugh either way. But anyway, yeah. So for everyone that's watching, thank you guys for kicking back with us the whole time. A massive congratulations again for the website, the winning of the Last Illuvial. And for anyone that likes content like this, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You guys know what to do, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.